Hello and welcome back to episode 4 of What If Civilization Started Over. In the last episode, we saw a lot of events like the collapse of Malawi and the establishment of Egypt, and Africa is starting to become a lot more filled in, and soon we might even see expansion into other continents. The first event that will be happening is actually here in the pink team, which isn't doing so well, as this area, which is now purple team territory, used to be pink team territory. Um, it's a point of unrest in the pink team government as they want to get this land back. So actually cause people in this region of the Congo to break away. A rebellion will start over there. They'll expand along the purple team border. Actually, they'll actually walk into the purple team and a bit into the green team too. Just this big rebellion is going to be happening, and it will look something like this for now. Next, we're going to South Africa, as they're going to be invading the Purple Lesotho team. South Africa sends their troops in along this border, but eventually the mountains get very harsh to fight in, and they can only advance this much, as the purple team has a very strong military because they're surrounded by South Africa, and that military is really showing its capabilities here. They will try a spearhead to the capital, and it goes kinda well, but then eventually they get encircled and pushed back, and this is a major loss for South Africa, and they will just keep their troops occupying this area. But then also, this leads to southern Madagascar breaking away from them, as they feel very underrepresented compared to the rest of South Africa, and they want independence, and they just got it. They're going to keep on exploring up Madagascar. They're going to keep moving up this coast. Eventually, they are going to claim this. The rebellion will start trying to connect up with each other, attacking here to connect these two groups up together, attacking here, and also sending an attack here. So encircle some of the pink garrisons in this area, but a lot of the garrisons have actually joined up with the rebellion, so there's not much here. Next, they're gonna attack up here and trap these pink team soldiers, who are actually going to flee up here, around here, and above the green team, where they'll set up a pink team colony as they claim it for the pink team for now. But this is all taken by the skin team, and they'll keep moving down until eventually the pink team government decides to give them independence. And their capital is going to be on the very bottom of the island. Next, we are going to see Egypt keep expanding along this North African coast, where there is still some, like, forests, and it's habitable up here. So they're going to expand along the coast, reaching up to this part of Libya, I believe. And they are going to claim it for themselves, just going along here. Egypt will actually keep on exploring around this coast, and eventually the group of explorers will go over here to set up a colony for Egypt right along this area of it, and it's not connected up to the rest of the land, so they don't know what's happening back at the Egyptian homeland. And what is happening back at the Egyptian homeland? This area of the Nile will be breaking away from Egypt, because they want independence and they feel the country is much more focused on the Upper Nile. And Egypt will actually make the first move, pushing back down into them, pushing around the Nile. But then the Lower Nile Rebellion will cut through the sands and encircle the troops up here. This will cause them to start to retreat, also through the sands, and the rebellion will start gaining some land back. But then the Egyptian country will push back again and also station troops like along the sands here to make sure that they can't do another counterattack, which the lower Egyptians actually attempt, but it fails miserably for them. This leads to them being pushed back almost to the edge by Egypt, and then the leader of this country will surrender over to them, and the rebellion will be defeated. They will be fully annexed back into Egypt. However, during this whole revolution, Egypt sent out a ship along the North African coast to their colony to tell them that this was happening. And this gave the colony ideas of revolution, but they were mostly ignored by the leaders of the colony who didn't want to rebel. But then, Egypt, thinking that a rebellion might start over here, they sent another ship to the colony, and they end up killing a few of the colonizers. This angers them very much, and they will break away from Egypt as this Lilac team. The Lilac team is very seafaring focused, as most of the Egyptian navy actually was docked here at their capital. So when they broke away, they inherited most of the navy. So they're going to do a first voyage. They discover this little island, they discover this, and then they end up discovering Malta. And this leads to them landing in Sicily. They're the first people in Europe. They will claim the southern tip of Sicily, then do another naval exploration from there, discovering this island, then discovering this part of Tunisia, which they will also claim as their own. And eventually they sail along this coast, discovering more land, so going inlands a bit. And after multiple years of exploration, they end up looking like this, with them controlling all of this territory along the Tunisian and southern Sicilian coast. Back in South Africa, they are going to continue to attempt to push, which goes fairly successful, but this war is now extremely unpopular as they're resorting to a lot of conscription, even as the purple team is weakening. They make some pushbacks in the north here, around here, and then eventually this green country even enters the war, quickly shooting down south, getting all of this, making this encirclement, and capturing most of the South African army in that region. And they will keep pushing around here. And because they have to divert a lot of troops this front, they'll be pushed out of the north of the purple team. And the purple team will push south also a lot. A rebellion will even start in the north of the country. This Red Mozambique Rebellion. And they will push down the claimed coast and kind of stop around here because this is all the land they really need. and they will make peace with South Africa. And in the peace treaty, they just get this land up to here. So South Africa doesn't have to focus on that front anymore. So they can push back against this green team a bit more, but they make a breakthrough in the north and connect up with the purple team, and together they will do a lot of damage to the north of the country and capture all of this. This will be so bad that rebellions will start all over South Africa, and they will quickly seize land and connect up to each other. Although this one in the south, it just expands a bit, and more pop up around here, around here. Situation in South Africa is looking very bad, so they decide to make peace with this green team and the purple team, which will actually accept to have a meeting. In the peace treaty, the purple team will expand slightly, so will the green team, as they get most of this southern area here. This actually starts some tension between the purple team and this green team, as if you remember, the green team used to be where the purple team is now, but now tensions are starting again as a lot of immigration's occurring between these two countries, and the governments don't really agree with each other. And South Africa will actually begin pushing back on these rebellions. They'll push back this one. They'll go into this one and cut off this from the rest of it. And eventually they'll start pushing up here to this, creating a front line. And they wipe out this rebellion and these two. So eventually, the rebels agree to sign peace. South Africa will end up getting most of their land back. However, these two ports over here, these two port cities, they'll actually go to the brown team, which still manages to survive. Next, the skin team from before, remember them? Well, the pink team is back with revenge on their mind. They will send troops into the skin team, which doesn't even have enough livable territory in order to set up a capital. So the pink team easily demolishes them, cutting the country in half, taking out this part, and just wiping them out completely off the map. In the first episode, they appeared. I wonder where that's from. Pink team will be fully annexing them in the peace treaty, and they will actually relinquish a lot of this territory in the Congo. They'll remove their claims from it, and they'll tell their settlers to leave. So it's very hard to maintain, and they don't want another situation like the skin team happening again over there. Anyway, remember the orange team? How they are the true successor to the red team's throne? They will be showing that as they invade into the red team, quickly going around here and sieging their capital a lot quicker than expected. But the red team will actually push out from here. They'll do the same to their capital. And now it's just the game to see whose capital will fall first and whose leader can be killed first. It's actually the red team's leader who was assassinated, and the orange team quickly sweeps through their country after that, and they surrender over. In the peace treaty, the greater red team will be reformed, but it's actually the orange team that formed this. I just colored it red because it's just the brother from here reclaiming throne to his empire. Finally, the pink Somalian team will explore more of this area and claim it for themselves, wrapping up around here. And surprisingly enough, they'll actually land on Socotra this time. And they will quickly claim it before realizing that there's more free territory they can get. So they start up a colony in Yemen over here, and they expand along the Djibouti coast. That will be it for today's episode of What If Civilization Started Over.